Hello, welcome back to another tournament, another Subnautica tournament, but today, it is not the original Subnautica, we are doing Below Zero, which you've probably already guessed from the title. Anyway, let's begin. Let's go matchup mode. Alright, again, completely randomly generated, same as last time. It goes about halfway down, but it's okay, I've bought the Glow Whale forward a couple, just because it's an odd amount of brackets. Anyway, let's begin. So we've got the Arctic Ray and the Frozen Leviathan. Alright. Frozen, that's easy. Red Featherfish versus Hive Mind. Actually, honestly, I think the Hive Mind, a lot of people probably don't even realize that it's an actual creature in the game. Because you swim down to Marguerite's cave area, and they're all along the walls changing colors. They go like green, pink, and blue or something. These are cool. These are really cool. Penguin, Shadow Leviathan. Now, I'm slightly biased because the Shadow is my favorite Leviathan, but it's definitely better. There's no chance. Hoopfish and Triops. Now, I'll be honest, I don't even know if I've ever seen one. If I have, I can't remember. So these dudes must be pretty rare, and they just look much cooler. These guys are in the first game. Not a chance. We got Triops. Symbiote Holefish. It's so funny how it's combined two creatures that work together into the same bracket. But I think the Titan Holefish is just so cool. Especially how it's like an evolved version of the regular Holefish. Super cool. We're going with that. Bladderfish and Vent Garden. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say the Vent Garden. It's just so unique. It's so massive, and you can swim into it and collect resources and stuff. It's so cool. It's like a whole biome in there. It's great. Vent Garden, classic. Lily Paddler and Newt Fish. Both of these are really interesting and really cool, but I'm gonna have to go with the Lily Paddler here, just because of like its abilities and stuff. It's a bit bigger, a bit more interesting to look at. Go with that. Brute Shark and Rock Puncher. Now, I actually remember watching a clip of Jacksepticeye, and it was a Rock Puncher clip, and that's actually what made me start like wanting to play Below Zero. So I'm gonna pick the Rock Puncher. Alright, Penguin versus Snowstalker. This one's actually quite hard, because these are both kind of similar in their own niches, but I think this one, the Snowstalker, has to take it, just because it feels like... You could say this for both, but the Snowstalker, its biome and the way they interact, they have little children as well. You can collect the snow feathers, the snow fur. I just think it's a little bit more interactivity and a bit better intertwined with their own biome, if you get what I'm saying. We'll go with Snowstalker. Alright. Rock Grub versus the Jelly Eye, or the Eye Jelly. I do like these eye jellies. Coming across them for the first time was pretty cool. The Rock Grub, though, in my original tournament for the original game, I did bring the Rock Grub up quite high. But I think these actually are a bit more unique than the Rock Grub. Maybe not as rare, but they look better, and they're more unique to the game. We'll go with the Jelly Eye. Cryptosuchus Brinewing. I don't know, this is a hard one for me, because I hate the Cryptosuchus. This thing is so annoying. Its sound effect is so bad. It sounds like a diesel engine with no gas in it trying to roll over. It's trudging along. It sounds so terrible. But I think the Brinewing actually has a cool interaction, how it spits out ice and freezes other fish before eating them. I think that's really cool. I'm going to go with the Brinewing. Okay. We're on to round 2 now. Round 2. The Frozen Leviathan versus the Hive Mind. Now, this one's pretty easy. I'm going with the Frozen Leviathan. The Frozen Leviathan is so iconic to the game. Such a huge part. It's actually a big part of the storyline too. It's one of the final, it's like the final part to the sister storyline where you look for your sister. Anyway, that's enough yapping. Shadow Leviathan versus Triops. Definitely going to be Shadow Leviathan for this one, guys. No chance about it. Vent Garden Titan Holefish. Again, there's just nothing I can even say which would even bring the Holefish close to the Vent Garden, so it's Vent Garden. Lily Peddler versus Rock Puncher. This is a good one too, actually. These are both very even in terms of how cool I think they are. I think the Rock Puncher's better. That might just be personal preference, but I do actually think the design is super cool. Like it's like a bit of a lobster, right? With the lobster legs, the crab legs or whatever, and it's got these big punching things. I think it's really cool. The Rock Punch is really good. Snowstalker versus the Jelly Eye. I think the Snowstalker takes this one. The Jelly Eye just sits there, and the Snowstalker is much more interesting. Oh, it brings us straight to the next stage. Alright. Frozen Leviathan versus Shadow Leviathan. And this is where it could start to get a bit difficult, actually. But I think I have a good reason why I think the Shadow takes this one. Because Shadow, they both look extremely cool, and they're both massive creatures. But the Shadow, it's actually swimming around. It's actually a part of the game that you need to swim past and avoid. You need to see this thing to beat the game. You could say the same for the Frozen, but it just sits still. It doesn't interact with you. You could argue that the curing the Kara is an interaction, but I just think having the Shadow cruising around the caves and actually being a threat is just putting it on top in this fight. Vent Garden, Rock Puncher. I think it's a bad matchup. The Vent Garden takes this one. It's one of the most amazing creatures in the game. Snowstalker versus Brinewing. Honestly, the Brinewing actually pulled out pretty far in this, but the Snowstalker definitely has to take this one. For sure, for sure. Okay. The second to last round before the finals. The quarterfinals. Here we go. Shadow versus Vent Garden. What do we think here? I think it's the same argument as the Frozen Leviathan. I think the Vent Garden is fantastic. I think the Shadow is fantastic. But I think if the Vent Garden swam at you and attacked you with tentacles, this would be the coolest thing in the game by far. By far. But I think that the Shadow's going to take this one for me for now. Shadow versus Snowstalker. Yeah. This is an easy one. Very easy. Okay, now we're on the right side of the bracket, starting off with round 1, a new set of creatures. Here we go. Arctic Peeper versus Skyray. I did not know that the Skyray was in Below Zero. But I think the Arctic Peeper, as the face of Below Zero, has to take it. Okay, Juvenile Vent Garden or Discus Fish? This is actually so interesting. Look, these Discus Fish are pretty cool. Because they're new to the game as well. They're new to Below Zero. But the Juvenile Vent Garden, you know, they literally fixed the problem I had just before with the Vent Garden and how it doesn't swim around. This one doesn't attack, but they do swim around. Believe it or not. Sea Monkey, Arrowfish. I think that's called an Arrowfish. Sea Monkey, right? They're so cool. Like, I mean, they steal your tools, and that sucks. But it's actually it's an interesting mechanic how they even took the effort to add that in the game. I'm going with Sea Monkey. Trivalve or Crashfish. So this is literally the cuttlefish of Below Zero, and the Crashfish is the kamikaze bomber of below zero. I'm going for the cuttlefish. Baby sea dragon and the baby stalker. Bro, I can't get over how good the matchup system does it. This is randomly seeded. I think the baby stalkers take this one because I think you have to hatch an egg to find this. I don't know if you can actually see them out in the wild, but these ones you can find out in the wild, and they're actually in their caves, you know, with their parents protecting them. I think it's just such a cool interaction with these guys. I really like them. Void Chelicerate versus the ice worm. Okay, these two are both crazy, both massive, really aggressive creatures. These are from the void, which gives them a lot of brownie points. But this guy here, I'm gonna say he definitely takes it just because of his animations. The way he goes around under the ground and pops up, and he has like 4 or 5 different animations he can do, you know, like depending on if your character, if you're on your snow bike, or if you're just running around as a character, it interacts differently, and I actually really like that. Chelicerate and Squid Shark. Here's a goodie, actually. So, a lot of people actually hate the Chelicerate. I don't. I think it's a really well-designed Leviathan. I do understand how it's not quite as scary as some of the other Leviathans, but at the end of the day, it is a Leviathan, and this is just a mid-tier shark. So for that reason, Chelicerate. Spinnerfish versus Boomerang. It's a no-brainer. Boomerang's from the original game, nothing different. This here, brand new creature, new design, and they do jet propulsion and spin along to swim. I think that's good design. Spinefish, Panacharid. Exactly the same as before. We've got Spinefish already, it's old news. Panacharid. Panacharid's actually very interesting. It would probably win against some of the other things. Featherfish versus Spiky Trap. Okay, now, I hate the Spiky Trap. Like, I hate this thing. Okay, and if you like it, then you should be homeless for probably like 8 weeks. No, 9 weeks. And then some guy in a suit comes up to you, right? And he's like, oh bro, I've got this mean opportunity for you, alright? You just lock in, you know, get ready, get showered up, you know, get some nice clothes, and we'll meet here in like a week's time, and I've got a huge opportunity for you. You know, they're gonna take that, right? You know, they're gonna go and get ready, everything. Well, maybe. Anyway, they come back, right, to this guy, and he doesn't show. That's what should happen if you like the Spiky Trap. Now, that's going to happen to me because I'm picking the Spiky Trap just because of its uniqueness and how it's new to the game. This is also new to the game, but at the end of the day, it's just a small fish. And this actually is an interesting life form with interactions with the player. Spiky Trap. We're going homeless. Arctic Peeper versus Juvenile Vent Garden. It's easy. The Vent Garden takes this one. It's basically just variations of other creatures, and I'd rather the variation of a Vent Garden than the variation of a Peeper. So we'll go with the Vent Garden. Sea Monkey and Trivalve. This is another good one. This one could be hard for a lot of people. I'm going to go with the Trivalve. I've never cared too much for the Sea Monkeys. They kind of annoy me. Iceworm, Baby Stalker. I mean, I don't have to point out the obvious here, but the Iceworm literally eats them for breakfast. So we're going with the Iceworm. Chelicerate versus Spinnerfish. Okay. Again, with the homeless scenario. Don't go Spinnerfish, guys. Chelicerate. All day. Spiky Trap, Panacharid. Okay, here we go. We're breaking out the hood with this one. So, Panacharid, I think, easily wins this one. Okay, because it might not have as many interactions with the player, but I do think it's a really cool looking creature and very, very unique. And when you find these guys for the first time, it's like, whoa, like, oh, it's so cool that they designed some, like, seal-type creature. I like it. Juvenile Vent Garden, Trivalve. Okay. Unfortunately, this is where my love for the Vent Garden is going to come out. I do think the Juvenile Vent Garden is more interesting than the Trivalves, but in saying that, the Trivalves do have emotes and like literal player interactions. We'll bring Trivalve forward because I think the actual Vent Garden is going to do really well. Okay, all right. Now quarterfinals, I believe, for the right side bracket. Let's get into it. Iceworm Chelicerae. I think the Iceworm takes this one because the Chelicerae is a very basic Leviathan. It doesn't do much, right? But the Iceworm just has so many more things it can do. It's just much more unique creature. I know I've used that word a lot, but this game's very unique. Glow Whale versus Panacharid. Okay, so as you see, I brought the Glow Whale forward a couple because, yeah, there was not enough spaces for the bracket. But again, the Glow Whale is another one of my favorite Leviathans. I think it's so cool. I'm taking the Glow Whale over the Panacharid, and there's just nothing anyone can do about it. Trivalve and Iceworm. This is an easy one again, guys. Both have great interactions, but one's a giant worm with a flaming drill head, and the other one's got a big eye. So, we're going with the flaming drill head. Because I like hot things drilling me. Whoa. I looked at that a bit too long. Alright. Glow Whale, Iceworm. Here we go. I think the Glow Whale can dethrone the Iceworm. The Iceworm, objectively, you could say it's, you know, bigger, more unique, has more interactions, yada yada, all these points. But the Glow Whale actually does also have interactions. You can ride these things, and when you get into their biome and you see the pods of them swimming around, is that what a group of whales is called? A pod? Let me know. I think it's a pod. Anyway, I think seeing the pod of Glow Whales and even them breaching out of the water, you can hatch their eggs too. You can't hatch an Iceworm egg. Glow Whale's coming forward for me. It has to. It's coming forward. Alright. Oh my gosh, we're at the finals already. Okay. Glow Whale versus Shadow Leviathan. Oh, shit. Okay. This is going to be such a hard one. I think I know where I'm leaning towards. And I'm leaning towards the Glow Whale. That's because, almost for the same reason as the Chelicerae and Iceworm, right? The Shadow is just a basic Leviathan. You know, it just has a rush and grab attack, not much else. The Glow Whale has so much more interactions, and it's just so, like... it's so calming being around them, and they're so awe-inspiring, is a good way to put it, I feel. And I can't say the same about the Shadow. He's cool, and I love my big aggressive creatures, but the Glow Whale is just, it's too good. It is the most beautiful creature in the game, and I think they're more majestic than the Reefbacks. I'm doing it. Glow Whale it is. That's it. The Glow Whale wins our bracket fight for the Subnautica Below Zero. I'll zoom this in a little bit for you guys so you can have a little look if you want. I'll scroll slowly. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you're looking forward to some more. I am. And have a good one, guys. Peace out. Subscribe. Later.